I'll start at you.
Unfortunately, this microwave flapjack recipe, delicious though it is not suitable for those of you who are diabetic or have a diabetic living in your vicinity. It's full of sugar. I'm really sorry. It's delicious, but it is full of sugar. So, sorry, can't do anything about that. I promise I will make a diabetic recipe next time for the cake portion of the video or the session. But this time we're making very versatile but very fattening microwave flapjacks. So I'm going to go over to my worktop now and show you what we're doing. So I've measured out my butter and my soft brown sugar, which I'm going to put in the microwave. Now I have given you a note about this, but just make sure that you do that, because if this explodes, trust me, your microwave will be in the most dreadful state. It will go absolutely everywhere. So we're going to melt these two together in the microwave on high. So notice third camera, we're doing the microwave on high. I'm going to do, I'm not sure how long it will take, so I'm going to do it for 2 minutes. Have a look at it in 2 minutes. You don't have to watch it for 2 minutes, it's a bit boring, isn't it? So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. While that's chuntering away for 2 minutes, I thought I'd talk about the fruit and nuts that we're doing. I've actually weighed these in ounces, and the whole recipe is in grams, I realise. And if you're like me, you would need to know, but how many do I use? It just says fruit and nuts, so how many do I use? I've got 4 ounces, which is about 112 grams. I think I'm not very good at grams and ounces. I've got a mixture of glacé cherries, hazelnuts, apricots and sultanas. As I said in my recipe, you can use whatever you want. I think cranberries would be lovely, but Sainsbury's didn't have any. What do they like? You could use walnuts, you could use pecans, whatever you've got. I just went to the cupboard and saw what I had, and what I had was this little lot. So that's what I've chopped together. And obviously I've chopped them very small. If we go to my overhead, wait till I get this out, so I've got 30 seconds, and I'll show you them before I put them in, show you how small I've chopped them. I've chopped the apricots about the size of a sultana, so there you go. And my hazelnuts I've just chopped up a bit, because you don't want a lump of hazelnut to come, so I can use the filling too. Anyway, this is just about coming out of the oven, the microwave, so we'll have a look at that. Right, there it is, and there's all my fruit. Look, can you see, all chopped about the size of a sultana. I did the cherries into about 4 and just snipped the apricots out. I tried to do some prunes because I love soft prunes, but they've gone not quite as soft as they were. So that's I've left that. So this, the sugar melted totally. I think I might like the sugar to be a little bit more melted. I think I'm going to put it back in just for another 30 seconds probably, because that sugar, I can still hear it. Can you hear it when I'm doing that? I don't know if you can. It's sort of, you can hear it grating on the bottom of the bowl. So I think that needs just, I'm just going to give it 30 more seconds in the microwave just before I carry on, because you're going to put everything in this. So it needs to be completely melted enough that you can get all your other ingredients in. I'm just going to put that back. Right, so I've given that another 30 seconds. We'll see how that is. That's better. I think that would be fine. Now my honey had gone very, very sugary in the cupboard because I've had it quite a while. So I've had to put it in the microwave to melt it. So I've got 2 tablespoons of honey. I've got just a little bit left, which will go sugary again. So there's my honey. I'll put that in. So you can see why poor diabetics can't eat this. I don't think any of us should be eating it really. There's my fruit and nuts going in. I'm stirring that all together with a wooden spoon. Stop giggling, Mrs. Williams and Mrs. Mapp. And now I'm putting the oats in. And someone asked me what sort of dish to use, because she hadn't got many microwave dishes. I think it was. Well, I use this, which is just a white china dish. As long as it will go in your microwave, you just need a dish of some sort. I did suggest, and I thought I had one actually, I did suggest a Pyrex casserole. A squarish, oblongish one is easier to cut, because it's easier to cut this into squares. So that sort of shape is probably better. So I'll mix this well in. Can you see it's all worked well in with the back of your spoon? And you just tip it into a greased dish. Now, I haven't greased my dish. That was me thinking I was all prepared, but I'm not. So I'm going to get a little bit of butter that's left. I was cutting my butter to 100 grams because I kept getting 102 grams and 103 grams instead of 100. So I'll just butter that. I should use a butter paper out of the fridge, which is we were taught to do at school, were you? Keep your butter papers to butter your tins with, but that would involve me knocking the cameraman over and the film crew and the stand that the camera's on. I think I could cause chaos if I really tried. Right, so that's buttered. I'm now very sticky. I'm going to put all of that in. Oh, it's hot. I'm going to put all of that in there, level off the top. Now, did you spot the really, if you want to go all out, I do not care about my blood sugar levels or my waistline. You can spread chocolate over this when it's finished, but I do think that's a step too far. So you just press this into your dish. This is just a little bit, I don't know if this dish is just a little bit too big. I'm going to give it a go, and then I'll tell you what it measures. I'll measure it in a minute for you, give you an idea. I think I would have been better with a slightly smaller. Right. Just get my ruler. A ruler that I keep in the kitchen for cooking purposes. Yeah, I think probably that needs to be in a smaller dish. In fact, I'm sure it does. So we're going to get the camera crew to get a slight, you know which ones I'm going to get. Ooh. As you can hear, Bob's in the china cupboard, yes. This is 23 by 23, and this is 23 by, this one is 23 by 17. So I think that's better. So could I have a butter paper, camera crew, out of the cupboard? So I'll be able to do that now. You'll have to get it on. Here's a butter paper. Here's one I made earlier. I think this will be better. Because if you notice when you cooked it, it says to cut it just halfway through at first, when it first comes out, and then all the way through later. So all is there. And that's better. You can see it's a much thicker mixture. That's better. I actually had a piece of flapjack at Delaprey Abbey yesterday. Absolutely delicious. And I thought, oh gosh, I hope mine tastes as nice as this. I didn't ask them for the recipe. It was delicious. Flapjack is lovely. Oh, I have told the dog he can't bark while I'm doing this, but he's barking. He's not our dog. Our son-in-law's been in hospital with, he got some sort of bite on his knee. And I don't know if you know this, but if you have a bite on the pad behind your knee, I wasn't even aware I had a pad behind my knee, but if you get a bite there, it kind of, it explodes the poison throughout your leg, and the poison travelled down his leg. And he's been on intravenous antibiotics, having tried tablets and they didn't work, been on intravenous antibiotics for 2 days, poor lamb. So we've had the dog, and we have him for a day or two because I don't think we'll be able to walk him. So there it is, going into the oven. It looks rather nice already, doesn't it? It's going to go into the oven on high for about 5 minutes. Now, remember, you can put it back in. So check it at about 4 minutes. If it's not ready, the center should be bubbling. So if it's not ready, I'd rather you did it less than did it too much. So do it, you know, for 4 minutes, see what you think. You can always stick it back in. So here, I'm going to put it in the microwave now. Obviously, one thing to be aware of on high, one thing to be aware of, not all your dishes will turn around in your microwave. So particularly if you have a very big one, mine's not too bad for size, but some of them are quite small, and you get your dish and get all excited and then find it's not going around. So do check your dish before you work on it. But as I said, 23, which is, 23 is about, how big is 23? It's about 9 inches by about 5 inches. So just choose a dish of a suitable size. If you haven't got a square or an oblong dish, it really doesn't matter. Use a circular Pyrex casserole would be fine, or a Pyrex casserole lid. You just need to be able to get that depth, so make sure it's not too big. So we'll just wait for the 5 minutes. I'm going to start clearing. Bob's going to put me on pause. Now, mine actually was bubbling after 3 minutes. So don't panic about that. But it's done 4 minutes now, and I think that's probably enough. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. And here it is, look at this. So, of course, it's not brown because it doesn't brown in the microwave. What you could have done, should have maybe suggested this, if you used dark brown, soft brown sugar, which I had in the cupboard actually, I used light, but if you used the dark soft brown sugar, you would get the colour darker. Goes without saying, doesn't it, really? You're not that stupid. Yeah. So you cut it halfway through for now, and then later when it's cold, I'm going to do it in 3. It's very sticky, as you can see. I'm going to do it in 3. So I've got, oh gosh, 1, 2, 3, how was it? 18 slices. And now you just leave it to get cold in there. Now, obviously, I'm not going to melt chocolate over the top. That would be a bit too much. But that's all there is to it. And here we have microwave flapjacks. You could, of course, make them without anything in at all, but the fruit and nuts are really rather nice. So I would add those to it, but you don't have to put them in if you don't like fruit and nuts. My first husband didn't like any dried fruit, made him sick, which was a bit unfortunate. Come Christmas, he didn't have a lot to eat. But some people don't like dried fruit. I happen to love it, but it is desperately fattening, I know. So there we are, microwave flapjacks. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.
And now we're up to 3 cameras. I'm putting my rates up.
No chance. You can have a piece of flapjack. That's your payment.